Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to a live stream about nothing. I actually did this once before where I just jumped on in the middle of the day and just went after it. I was actually pleasantly surprised that so many people actually just kind of joined me in the chat. I think we had a fun conversation. I literally had no agenda, right? And normally my philosophy is no agenda, no attenda. But I decided to do this last live stream with no agenda, no clue what I was going to talk about. I had some free time and just jumped on. It was like, let's just have some fun. Let's just see where this goes. And somebody on the Ready, Set, Go preview show on Sunday actually asked, Reggie, when are you going to just get on and do a live stream again about nothing, basically? And I was like, it won't be Monday because I was super busy on Monday, but I was like, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I'm sitting here just this moment. I'm like, you know what? Forget about it. We're going to do this right now. We are just going to go live. And as I'm saying that, I see people streaming into the room. I'm glad you guys are able to join. So let me say hello to the folks that have joined here really quickly. Marcos is here. It's good to see you. Pedro says, am I early, bro? Yeah, you are. You were on time, right? This is a live stream about nothing, so you can't be late. You can't be early. You were on time, right? So Simon Gale is here. How you doing, Simon? It's good to see you, brother. 90 MF Comics is in the house. Jake Conrad is here. Lorenzo D'Angelo is in the house. Hawaiian Punch in Your Face 72 is here. James is in the house. Party Time Comics, how you doing? Superhero Cool Rated R Tina, how you doing, my friend? Matthew Smith, Cuz Buzz, Tio, Universe X, how you doing, my friend? I just was chatting with you a couple of moments ago on Instagram. Lon is in the house. Comics and Beer, how you guys doing? It's good to see all you guys, and clearly you guys have too much free time on your hands. If you're able to pop in here with me at a random moment at 12:40 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. No, I definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with me just a little bit. I was sitting here and I just recorded a vlog that is going to be released to you guys sometime soon. It's one of those ones where I don't show my face. It's just voice and it's got the static image on the screen. So I just finished recording one of those things. I was like, you know what? Let me just go live real quick and say hello. Lon says work sucks. Bro, I hate when work gets in the way of comics, right? So let's just remove work from the equation and let's just do comics all the time. Jerry P says, absolutely, it's called retirement, bro. That's what's up. I was talking to my wife the other day about that. I was like, babe, so like what happens when we retire? And she was like, we just have lots of hobbies and lots of stuff. We stay busy. I said, ooh, I want to do that now. 90 MF Comics says he just got off of work. It's 3:30 out on the East Coast. I heard that, brother. Definitely enjoy your day, and I appreciate you spending a little bit of time. Tio says the question of the day is spending money on grading or buying more books, bro. That woo. So here's the thing. Let me pause that right there. So I have no agenda for this thing, right? According to Comcast, I have blazing fast speed. So hopefully you guys will be able to see me, right? I see a little graininess, but hopefully you guys can see me. But I have no agenda for this thing. So we are just going to make it up as we go, right? So questions, comments, thoughts, we are just going to meander our way through this thing until I just I'm drenched in a pool of sweat from these lights and just in this thing. Or my wife comes and knocks on the door, or you guys run out of questions, whichever comes first. So who is this? Tio had a question here. Cuz Buzz says, amen, brother. Tio says, question of the day, is it best to spend on grading or more books? Bro, that is literally the challenge, right? Because grading is not cheap, and it doesn't matter what grading company you're using. It doesn't matter what presser you're using or whether you're having the grading company, third-party grading company, actually press the books for you. The process of grading and encapsulation is expensive, and there is always that struggle between do I grade or do I buy more books? And so what I actually do, and I think this is not unique to me, I actually have a box that I've set aside, and it's like the to be graded box, right? So as I buy books, and as I have books in my collection that for whatever reason rise to the surface to potentially warrant some grading, I actually set those books off to the side in a bin. And I periodically will evaluate those books. You know, do I send these in, or do I just keep accumulating them and buying other books? And so, you know, there is that process where I'm like looking through the bin. Okay, I think I have enough books here. Maybe I'll go ahead and send some in. And then I do it. Or, you know what, I have some books here that I could send, but it's not a full invoice, or I'm a little iffy on some of these books, so maybe I'll wait. And then I go ahead and buy more books, and I kind of move books back and forth between, you know, their proper place and in an organized bin and this to be graded bin, right? Things are constantly moving back and forth as I'm considering and reconsidering different things. So, but that is always the question. That is always the question, because you know, one invoice potentially, dependent upon how many books you put on that invoice, is the price of a nice book. You know what I'm saying? It's the price of a nice book. So I wish you luck, Tio. If you find the proper balance between those two things, you let me know, because I am definitely still struggling with that thing. All right. So Connie is in the house. How you doing, Connie? Matthew is here. Ross is here. Who else is here? Who else is here? Matthew Smith. I said, oh, White Whale Comics is in the house. Hey, so 90MF Comics asked if I'm into Immortal Hulk. I've been reading Immortal Hulk since issue 1. It's been on my pull list. I have 2 actually that I've been pulling. One from the very beginning, and then I added a second one a little bit later at another shop. So I have 2 full lists that are running right now. I am not current. I am not current. I am reading it, but I am not current. I'm probably 4 issues behind, maybe. But I have them all in my to read bin at my ankle, but I have not yet read them. But definitely enjoying the story, enjoying the pacing, enjoying the creativity, the covers, the artwork. I'm definitely enjoying the series. So, and it sounds like you probably are as well. 90MF Comics. I'm gonna take a sip here from my Superman mug. This was given to me by my mother, who does not know that I'm a Marvel fan. She looks at all superheroes as the same. So people are like, why do you have a Superman mug? Well, because my mother gave it to me. There you go. So Hawaiian Punch in Your Face 72 is asking what my take is on the new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. So I've only watched it once, and I want to watch it a couple more times. I watched it this morning without my contact in, so I could have missed some things. I dig it. I dig it, because we saw the Iron Spider costume, which I thought was great. I don't want to spoil Avengers Endgame for those that haven't seen it, but there was like the hearkening back to some things that happened in Avengers Endgame, which I really dig. I think what's really key though about that trailer was the multiverse, was the opening of the door to the multiverse. Now that frees up not that Marvel Studios was encumbered in any way, but that frees them up, this multiverse, to be able to dream up some crazy stuff. Right? You were talking 80 years of comic book history that these dudes can play with, and you have a multiverse. It is bananas. And so the Mysterio coming from a different alternative universe because of the rip in space and time that was created by the snap, how he's now, I guess now a good guy, at least he was in his universe, and he's like befriended Spider-Man, and they team up to take on some monsters. I dig it, man. I dig it. I still haven't seen the first one, but the second one, based upon the trailer, appears to be a really good movie. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. So Matthew says he won big. He got his first appearance of Carnage 9.8. He also got the Harley Quinn first appearance, so he's very happy. Congratulations on both of those books. Both of those are awesome. So congrats on that. Scrolling down. Didn't miss Miles Morales and Peter Parker meet each other due to Mysterio's tampering with the multiverse. I'm honestly not sure. You got me on that one. I have not read a single Miles Morales book. I have several of them in the collection, but I've never actually read a story involving him, to be honest with you. No, I take that back. I read one, and it was a kid's book that I was reading to my boy. So I have no clue whether it was in continuity or not. But that was the only time I've ever read a Miles Morales related story. So Tio says he thinks that Mysterio is lying, which could be the case. Matthew says Mysterio looks fire. I would agree. I'm not a big fan of Mysterio just in general, but let me take that back. So I recently read one of his early battles with Spider-Man, and the dude is a little I did not like him at first, but I think the dude is a little bit of a beast. Like what he did to Spidey to like trick him in this one story. I think it was it 67? It might have been Amazing Spider-Man 67. It was the one where you see Mysterio's gloves and Spider-Man's like really small. It was a really, really dope story to read. But I did not like Mysterio before. And then I read that story and I was like, ooh, there may be something there to this dude. So I think Matthew Smith, you may be on to something, man. And from the Far From Home trailer, he looked to be pretty bad. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It looked like he was like on a glider of some sort. I want to go back and watch it. But in the comics, at least in the one that I read, I don't remember him being on a glider. He was just kind of like disappearing and appearing out of thin air, but there was no glider. So definitely want to check that out a little bit. Would you argue with the lady? Ooh, I missed something. I missed part of a chat. I don't know where the context is for that. Brian Parent, how you doing? Roger B, Hialeah Comics, bro, how you doing? Molten Man is fire. I got my first appearance of Molten Man. I think you guys know about that one. I almost had a second one, but it didn't quite work out. Party Time Comics says he almost pulled the trigger on the all-new Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes, but couldn't do it. Bro, I have 2 copies of that. And you know why? I actually watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they had Robbie Reyes on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I watched it and I was like, okay, this character looks interesting. So I jumped on Marvel Unlimited and read his first story, the number 1. I was like, oh, I got to get this book. Place my order right there. I think I got 2 copies of that one because of that. But I'm not a big Ghost Rider fan. Not that I have anything against Ghost Rider. I'm just not a big fan. But the Robbie Reyes, the relationship with his brother who is paralyzed and in the wheelchair, I found that story to be compelling. And I got on board with that one. So I picked up a couple of copies. Maybe at some point, my brother, you will pull the trigger and actually pick it up. And he says that this would have been his first CGC. So Party Time Comics, I am going to need you to buy a CGC book. I mean, CBCS, PGX, buy a graded book, my friend. Just go ahead and do it. When you touch that plastic in your hand, there was nothing greater than that. So what is this? Immortal Hulk is a continuation of Incredible Hulk renamed. Could be. If you're talking about, I think wasn't the early stuff a little bit more of like what this one is, where he would appear at night or something like that. I only read a couple of the early issues of Incredible Hulk. I think it was like maybe 1, maybe 2. So I want to go back and actually read it, because you may be raising a good point that this is really nothing new. I would say it's definitely something new for this generation who isn't really thinking about Incredible Hulk as a horror character, which is essentially kind of sort of what he is right now. So somebody jokingly saying that they saw Hulk 181 for $85 right out of China. Yeah, go ahead and pick that one up. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Adam says he just sent his first ever books to CGC. Fingers crossed. Congratulations on that, Adam. That is always a big move, and also a little bit of a nerve-wracking one. So I'm gonna give you a tip, my friend. Adam, I'm gonna give you a tip. Okay. Forget about it. Best piece of advice I can give you when you send stuff off to be graded, and it doesn't matter who it is, just forget about it. Just put it out of your mind. Because if you go to that site every day and you hit that refresh button, you are going to be frustrated when there's no change. So you want to send it, you want to make sure that they received it, and then you want to forget about it. And then one day you're gonna go in there and you're gonna hit that button, just out of the blue, and it's gonna say scheduled for grading, or it's gonna say finalized ship or something like that. And you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, it was so fast. But if you check it every day, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. And I offer you this piece of advice as somebody who sat there for his first couple of orders and hit the refresh button every single day. Drove myself crazy. Drove myself crazy, I gotta tell you. And Brian Parent raises a very, very good point. He says, grading is addictive. Yeah, it is. Once you start, oh my goodness, there is something thrilling about identifying your books that you want to send in, sending them in, and then having that brown box with the brown tape show up on the doorstep when you sign for it. There, oh my goodness, and you crack it open. I'm telling you, comics are an addiction. Grading is like the next level of that addiction. So I wish all of you guys luck with that. Brett Hess Art, how you doing, brother? Matthew says, I love CGC now. 90 MF Comics says, I have like 10 graded books. Most of his collection is raw. Yeah, brother. So I would say that the vast majority of people are right where you are. And it doesn't matter whether it's 10 books or 100 books. More than likely, the vast majority of your collection is raw. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. And in fact, that's actually part of what I'll be talking about in a video that is going to be coming up. I literally just recorded that video before we came on, and it was this idea. Let me not preempt myself. Let me not do that. But I'm the same way. So I have more than 10 slabs, right? I have more than 10 on the wall behind me. But the vast majority of my collection, if you look at what's over here and over there and over here and back behind me on the floor, vast majority of my collection is actually still raw. So definitely you are in good company with that. Someone talking about encapsulated Batwing. Yeah, we're going to skip that one. Lewis says he picked up some pre-code horror graded by CGC. Very nice, very nice. Sooner or later, I'm going to make that jump into the pre-code horror, into some of that golden age stuff. But I haven't been able to get there just yet. Tio says his first CGC comic is ASM number 23.0. Congratulations on that. Very nice book. How long is it taking for books? So I want to say that my last shipment was the processing time for those Amazing Spider-Man 300 and New Mutants 98, I think it was about a month. It's about a month's time. But again, my point was, it doesn't matter how long it takes. I think if you are like, I need it now kind of person, because I am, that will trying to hit the refresh button every day will drive you crazy. But I want to say my turnaround time was about a month. It was actually pretty darn quick. But if I had checked it every day, it would have seemed like a lifetime. I did one order like almost 2 years ago, and it took about 6 months. But I also did the slow boat, cheap route, non-fast track, grading, and it took forever, and it was just a painful process. And I think CGC has changed some things. They've staffed things a little bit differently. I think I've also gotten smarter about how to submit books and how to submit them, when to submit them, all that kind of stuff. So again, it was basically a month turnaround time for these modern books, just about, if I remember correctly. So I'm scrolling down, see what else you guys are talking about. So 90 MF Comics says the concept of Immortal Hulk is the original concept of the horror-like character, where the Hulk comes out at night no matter what. Even if you kill Bruce when nighttime falls, we get the Hulk. There you go. So again, I think I only read issue number 1, and I don't necessarily remember that from issue 1, but maybe it comes in some of the later issues, because I think it was like 1 through 6 before they canceled it. And so I'm not sure whether the storyline 90 MF Comics that you're talking about right now is in the 1 through 6 or is in the 7 and beyond part. So if you give me some heads up on that, I would definitely appreciate it, because I do want to go back and read some Hulk, because what I realized several months ago was that there were a lot of these books that I don't know if I own them, but I never read them. And I had this perception that I knew what the Hulk was about, for example. And until I went back and read the Hulk, that I was like, oh, so what he has become is a little bit of like a retcon, and it's not necessarily how he was originally intended. And so that was kind of cool, was to actually go back to see what the original concept, the original idea for these characters were. And Hulk is just one example of where I did that. There are many others. I went back and recently, I'd never read the Taskmaster. Never read anything about the Taskmaster. Thought I knew about him, thought I understood him. Went back and read the original. I think it was the Avengers. And then it was like Marvel Team Up was his second appearance. And I was like, oh, this is a dope character. Then I went to go buy the book, and the book was overpriced. I was like, maybe we won't get Taskmaster's first appearance just yet. Here, let me see what else you guys are talking about. Lewis says, if you slab a book, you can't read, it takes away the enjoyment. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing, Lewis, and I think that there is no wrong way to collect, right? And it depends upon how someone wants to collect, right? And that, I think that's what you're saying, is that is your opinion. Typically what I do is, for me, I read a lot of books digitally because I have kids. And I think we've talked about this before. So a lot of times what I'll do is I will buy a book graded, and then I'll go read it on Marvel Unlimited. And to me, it's kind of the same, right? I'm more of a paper person. I love flipping the pages of a book and kind of reading through it. But my window through which I can actually do that is very narrow, right? Because if I'm not in here going live with you guys or filming a video, I'm trying to be out there with my family doing some things with them. And so I can't isolate myself here to read a book, but I think everyone has to decide, where does the enjoyment come from? Is it from physically touching the book and turning the pages? Is it from book? Is it from being able to display the book? Everyone has their own personal thing. And I think that's essentially what you were saying, is that for you, it takes away the enjoyment. And I will tell you that I agree with you to some point. I still have a ton of Amazing Spider-Man low number behind me in a band. And I can tell you, I like flipping through. I get in there with my little fingers and I kind of flip through all the books, and none of them are graded. I haven't sent them in to be graded because I actually just like having them and being able to kind of flip through them. Not that I'm taking them out of the plastic and looking at them, but it's a little different. It's a little different. So John's Comics, or somebody said it's the same with him. It went too fast. I lost it. RJ Taylor, how you doing, my friend? He says some peeps like raw and some like to slab it and digitize. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's one of the great things about this hobby, is that there's no wrong way to do it, right? Do whatever makes you happy. Buy whatever makes you happy. Spend your money the way that you want to do it, right? And the thing is just because it's your preference doesn't mean that you poo-poo someone else's preference, right? Because that person's doing what makes them happy, and as long as you're not hurting people or cheating people or any of that kind of stuff, just have fun. And Lewis is saying, I'm not saying anything against Lewis, because that wasn't the point of what he was saying. But yeah, man, it's like, you got to do what you got to do. Niall says he buys raw and never pushes slabs. Yeah, because that works for you, right? And if it works for you, then it is the correct thing to do. All Hulks are immortal. Bro, can you write an easier sentence, 90MF? All Hulks are immortal. That's what this story is suggesting. And he is immortal so far in the entire run. There you go. That was a beast for me to actually read. I don't know what was up with that. Rush, my brother to the north. How you doing, my friend? It's good to see you. Old Wolf 65. It's good to see you. Victor Olan, how you doing, brother? Evan says, if you can afford to buy a slab, you can afford to buy a reader copy. Yeah, that's the other thing. I actually just bought I bought a book that Sully to Kings brought to my attention several months ago. I've been looking at this book. I've been wanting this book. Couldn't find it. And what I ended up doing, I found the book on eBay, and the eBay, alerts you, this book is offered by a seller that you bought from before. So I scrolled down, I look at the seller. I'm like, oh, snap. I know this person, right? Because I bought from them a couple of times. And so I sent them a message. I was like, so, hey, what's your price for this book? And they reply back, here's the price. But if you do this, it's this. If you do friends and family to this email address, it's this. My response was, it is a pleasure doing business with you. and went ahead and sent the money, friends and family. 5 minutes later, here's my tracking number. But I was able to get this book, and it's a nice book, but it's a Dell book. It's Dell and not Marvel or DC. I don't think that a digitized version of this book exists. But then I was talking to my wife, and I was like, so now I need to get a reader copy. Now I need to get a reader copy because I actually want to read the book. And I think it's a cool book. I'm hoping that it's going to be a cool story. And I'm being super cryptic about it now because, you know, if I tell you everything, then I won't be able to do a video on it for you guys to watch. So I can't tell you everything. But soon enough, people, all will be revealed. So let me scroll through and see if you guys have other questions. RJ says he's been collecting since he was 9 years old up until 3 weeks ago. He swore he would never pay for statues or pops, and now he's spending on pop statues. And oh, bro, bro, what do you do to yourself? But you can only do one addiction at a time. I was actually at a toy shop earlier today. There's a place not too far from my house, and I went there because I thought they were. It's called Collector's Row, and I thought that they were a comic shop and a toy place. And I get there, and it's basically all toys and statues. And I'm basically like, yeah, so I'm not buying any of this. But I had a wonderful conversation with the owner of the shop. But I have my eye on one statue. But the way that these statues roll is that if you don't buy them right away, they will be worth a whole lot more money later on. So I have a feeling that this already expensive statue is well over what I would ever think about paying for it. But I have thought about statues a couple of times to dress up my background back here. Maybe one day I will get into it. But RJ Taylor, I wish luck. I wish you luck, my friend. I'm scrolling through. As long as you're getting the one you want, like RJ, nothing wrong with that. TJ is in the house. I think I saw TJ's name mentioned a couple of times. TJ, it's good to see you, brother. We had a good chat yesterday. It's good to see you here in the live stream. Russ just sent over $1. Chuck in $1. Russ, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much for that. Scrolling through. In Comics Most Wanted says that that's his major concern as well. Yeah, man, I hear that these the statues are a slippery slope. They are definitely attractive. They are definitely attractive. Simon Gale says he needs to smell the comic. So I'm gonna be honest with you. The smell of an old school comic shop is a fantastic thing. It instantaneously takes me back to my childhood. If I walk into a shop and it smells like paper, I guess it's decomposing paper, right? Fantastic smell. And my room here actually smells like that. I pump it in. It's for sale. No, I'm joking. But my room here does actually smell like paper. And it is a good smell. It really is. And it makes me feel like a kid again, right? There are things that are like smells and foods and things like that can actually transport you back in time. And that is definitely what happens with the paper smell that comes off of a comic. So scrolling through here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Some books we'll never read through. X-Men 12 and 13 signed by Stan Lee got slabbed simply to preserve and never to read. I respect that. By You Boy Entertainment. Scrolling through. Okay, let me scroll back down to the bottom. Is it Kyler? Kyler, I think that's how you pronounce it. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Vika's in the house. How you doing, my friend? Ghost Host Memories. How you doing? I think you've been here for a while, but sorry for not being able to say anything to you up until this point. Sorry. So Beta Ray Comics is actually asking whether I picked up the Hercules book, and I can't remember what it is, but I think you commented on one of the videos. No, didn't pick it up. Didn't pick that up. I didn't pick up the first appearance of or the origin of Dr. Doom. I am doing the best that I can to resist the temptation to speculate. And it's hard. It's hard. But I have not pulled the trigger on that Hercules book. And again, this is not me passing judgment on anyone that decides to do it. I'm trying to stay away from it. Pedro says he would buy that fragrance. So the fragrance that he's talking about is comic book Eau de Toilette. Comic book Eau de Toilette. That's a new fragrance coming from Regie Collects. You can pipe it in, you can spray it on. and dab behind your ear. Oh man, Rusty says, Reggie, you need to come to Mile High Comics for the ultimate comic smell. Bro, I can't go there because that place is expensive. What I hear about Mile High Comics is that they have everything, but their prices are really high. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's the rumor on the street. But yeah, man. And one thing that I'll say is you don't really get that smell too much from new comic shops. You don't really get that. And the thing is, man, we need to bottle up that smell and start selling it to comic shops and start piping it in, because I'm telling you that's where the magic happens. That's where the magic comes from. Oh man, I lost it. Have you seen the new black suit? Have you seen the new black suit Amazing Spider-Man statue? No, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that one. There's so many great statues out there, man. You know, um, Ghost Host Memories. Thank you for hanging in there for me. I think you were saying you gotta dip out, but no, X Universe X. I have not seen that spider suit. If you have a photo of it, shoot it over to me. I'd like to take a look at it. Scrolling down. Quattro, how you doing, my friend? It's good to see you. Who's reading War of Realms? I have not touched it, but I've heard good things about it. Jason Aaron's work on War of Realms, I think people seem to really enjoy it, but I have not yet had a chance to check that one out. My Rise Zero is the whatever the nicer one is. Is that the matte finish? It's whatever the more rare, right? Air quote. Whatever the more rare one is, that's what that one is back there. Scrolling down, actually, because I can't even remember what it is. I can't see that far. Yeah, it's whatever the more rare version is. That's what that one is back there. Somebody just picked up Thor 165. Scrolling down here. Go ahead and show that one. Wait a minute. Did someone say comic book scented candle? Seriously? I can't click on that link. I don't know what's going to happen. But is there a comic book scented candle? That's crazy. That's crazy. Who's RJ? What are you asking me about? Go Collect? Are you asking me about that? I wasn't sure if that was directed at me or somebody else. But I don't even know how I discovered Go Collect, to be honest with you. I may have gotten an ad for it or something like that, but I've been using Go Collect for probably over a year, maybe, that I've had my subscription to the service, because I definitely dig it. I don't buy and sell all that often, but I find it helpful to be able to know what things are worth. Deshaun is saying, we talking about old comics or new comic? Because I love the old comic book smell. Yes, we are talking about all of that. We are talking about the fantastic smell that comes off of old comics and how it isn't on new comics, and how we are going to bottle up the old comic book smell and sell it to people that sell new comics so that they can have the appearance of old comics in the room. Yeah, Bayou Boy Entertainment says the prices of Mile High are also mile high. Yes, they are. Priced mile high. That's the reason. There you go. Yeah, so I have not been there. Rusty says Mile High is his LCS, and he never goes there because it's so expensive. Yeah. And I mean, I think that, don't they have an exclusive deal with Marvel to do like the subscription services or something like that? I want to say that I heard that once upon a time, but though the prices, I mean, get your money. It just won't be for me, you know. So Ghost Host Memory says that there is a comic book scented candle. So I need to check that out. Let me copy. Can I copy that link? I'm gonna copy this link, and I'm gonna have to check this out a little bit later. From Regie Collects comic book scented candles, $5. Jay Newcomb Comics says the smell of a 12-cent comic takes me back to my paperboy days, waiting for the newspapers after school at the newsstand where the owner let us read comics while we waited. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I think that's one of the powerful things about comics, whether it be the smell or just holding them or touching them, reading them, that can instantly take you back to your child, that they will make you feel like a child again. And I think that that's one of the fantastic things about comics, no matter how old you are, man. So Metropolis Collectibles is a good one. You should check them out for your AF-15. So yeah, T.O., I actually, I talk to a lot of dealers on a regular basis. A lot of them like local to me about Amazing Fantasy 15. And when the time is right, and right now I could probably put my hand on about 6 different copies of Amazing Fantasy 15. The timing for me just isn't right now, and I think you kind of alluded to that. But once I get the money ready, because I'm not a window shopper. I'm not a window shopper kind of guy, right? I look when I'm ready to strike, and when I'm ready, I have a bias for action, But thanks for the heads up on Metropolis. I've heard really good things about Metropolis, because it's Metropolis, and then he also owns something else, right, under a different name. RJ Taylor is basically saying it's the glossy version. That's the nice one. And I have a feeling that one, again, whatever that version is, if it's the glossy one, that's the one. And that's the reason why I got the thing graded. If it were the other one, I probably would not have even bothered. Jason Aaron is killing it with the War of Realms. I've heard a couple of people say that. Martin M says he just read Deceased last night, thought it was good. I enjoyed Deceased. Anything with zombies, I am on board with. I completely dug DC. Deceased. What my hesitation was with it was the arc. Because I think there were 2 artists. There was one at the beginning, and the artist at the beginning did the ending, and then there was one artist in the middle. I think the artist in the middle had the better artwork. Story was good, concept was good, pacing, dialogue, I was perfectly fine with. The artwork in the middle, I thought was great. The book ended artwork, not so much, but I am definitely looking forward to the second issue of Deceased. And I'm going to check my phone because I think someone said that they sent me something. I'm going to tag you on IG that will make you start collecting. Bro, come on. I can only do one addiction at a time. I can only do one. Oh, that's dope. Yeah, that's dope. That's a slick. The Amazing Spider-Man black costume. Oh, bro, come on. We can see quad separation here. This is a nice statue. This is reminiscent of Web of Spider-Man #1. That is slick. Come on, man. Why'd you do that to me? Let me take a screen grab of that, and then it's already tagged, so I want to go back and look at that because that's slick. Universe X, what are you doing to me, my friend? Scrolling down, Ghost Hope Memory says he needs help with his first comic bought in 1995-ish. What's the help that you need? Joa says he just got his print. Did it arrive safely? First of all, let's start with that. Did it arrive safely? Second, do you like it? That is so Joa and several other Patreon members were actually given access to a print that I worked on with really talented artist that lives here locally, but then he also he's a college student, so I think he's back in Chicago right now. But he created this fantastic commission for me that I converted, technically that he converted into print, and I gave Patreon members access to the thing early, and I heard yesterday one of the prints arrived safely, undamaged. Person absolutely loved it, and now I'm hearing that at least I know one other has been delivered to Canada. I got the confirmation of that, and now Joe is saying that his has also arrived. So Tina says that the print is fantastic. Thank you for that. As if I drew it. As if I drew it myself. Thank you for, I was just the facilitator. Of this thing. But Joe, I'm glad that it actually arrived. Hopefully it arrived safe. Hopefully you are pleased with how it looks. Scrolling up, GPA Go collecting cover price have memberships for now. RJ Taylor says RJ Taylor is basically getting memberships with all services. Very cool. That way you can do a little comparison and contrast. and find one that meets your needs, and then ultimately stick with that one. Very good. Kyler, thank you for that. Kyler says, make sure you guys subscribe to Reggie. He's an awesome guy. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Chris Baird is in the house. How you doing, man? It's good to see you, brother. DLE Comics says he just picked up Amazing Spider-Man 59. Do I have 59? Yeah, I have 59 already. I'm looking at my list over here of books that I'm missing, and the list is getting shorter and shorter as we speak. I am crossing books off left and right off of the list. But DLE, congratulations on ASM 59. Love those books, man. Reading this, Russ says, the owner of Mile High is an ultimate trade and comic collector. Those are his books. If you want one, you got to pay big. Hey, brother, I heard that. Chris, would you marry a girl who smells like comic? You guys are not. I'd marry a girl that smells like comic books. I'm telling you. Comic OD Tolat. That's what I'm going to do. You're going to be disappointed if you click on that comic book scented candle and it just says a guy. Bayou Boy Entertainment says, you're going to be disappointed if you click on that comic book scented candle link and it's just a guy burning Turok #1. Oh, man. ASM, you have it on eBay. It's 35 and up. I'm going to have to read back over the comments to see what that's about. Reggie, anyone you know what the big announcement is going to be for Marvel? I have no clue. I didn't even know there was an announcement. I was thinking about that earlier today, and it was along the lines of like Marvel puts out all of this, these alerts, these updates and stuff like on the website, and then also via Marvel Unlimited. And I don't read any of that stuff, and I probably should because I should probably stay abreast of like what's happening with Marvel, but I haven't checked it out. It could be about phase 4, it could be about phase 5. I mean, it could be almost anything. Do you know when, Brian Parent? Do you know when that announcement is going to be made? I'd like to know. Undead Mousy, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, we've been on here, I don't know, for 15, 20 minutes. I don't know. I'm just on here running my mouth, but it's good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. You are killing it over there across the pond, man, with your books. This dude is doing big things. If you guys aren't following Undead Mousy on Instagram, you definitely need to check him out. He is an ASM kind of guy. That he puts up some nice books. So he is definitely building himself quite the collection of comics over there. So shout out to you, my friend. Daniel had a video that he put out today. Daniel actually he is buying 2 mystery boxes, and he is basically comparing those mystery boxes. So over time, which I think is a really, really good thing to kind of let people know, is there some value in this stuff, blah, blah, blah. If you get a chance, check out Daniel's channel. He is putting out some good stuff like this mystery box comparison thing, which I think is really cool. I don't know that I've seen anybody do it, which is part of the reason why I really dig it, because it's unique, it's different, and I'm always into that kind of stuff. So check it out if you guys get a chance. Scrolling down through the comments, May 6th. So the publisher, May 6th, excited for the week ahead. Big Marvel news coming. I know you hear that a lot, but it's not hyperbole in this case. Keep your eyes and ears open. Wow. Okay. So something's coming up. It's going to be interesting. I mean, if he's putting it out, it's got to be about Marvel and not about Marvel Studios. I was hearing Marvel Studios when I originally read your comment. So maybe there's something big on the horizon. Who knows? I'm definitely going to check, because I'm guessing that came from Twitter. So I'm going to check out Twitter a little bit later to see if people are making any comments about that stuff. I'm not really big on Twitter, but there is some good stuff that happens there. Tiger Fist says his son lives in Boulder, Colorado for years and never went to Mile High. Mistake, he's in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was the only one there for 2 days, but was sure to hit the shops. Wife was mad, didn't care. Undead Mousy, you are very welcome, my friend. There are so many just great people out there, man, that it's, you know, you spend all day every day giving people shout outs, but it's like if you guys are here and it's on my mind because I've been looking at your stuff, I have no problem giving people shout outs. And so Undead Mousy and Daniel are two people that readily pop to mind because I just been checking you guys stuff out. So Bionic says, finally made it to one of your live streams. Bro, you made it to the wrong one because this is the live stream about nothing. We are literally on here just making stuff up. Undead Mousy says FF52 came back today from CGC. Oh, what grade did we get on that, bro? What is it up? Is it up on the IG machine? If you guys don't know, I am all about Instagram. That is my preferred thing when it comes to social media. I am not big on Twitter or Facebook, but if it is on Instagram, I am all about it. RJ Taylor says he just ordered 3 Bueller boxes in one order and went from 0 to 33. Very nice. James says he just got ASM 94. Congrats on that. RJ Taylor says his last Bueller box was actually full of dope books. Congrats. Eternity. What about Eternity? Luck of the draw with the boxes. Yeah. I think my children just found a way to open the outer door because the music just came flooding in from the outer room. Scrolling through, would love to see Blade in the MCU. Really hope to see him in the Netflix series and stuff. So the Blade stuff is going to be interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this because there was a something that went up on Instagram a couple of months ago about the guy from the TV show with Urkel. I can't remember what the name of that TV show was, but the brother that was in the TV show with Urkel supposedly is the new Blade. I find that dude incredibly corny, and so I am not looking forward to him being the new Blade. But that was the rumor on the street that it was not actually going to be Wesley Snipes. It was actually going to be this guy from the TV show with Urkel. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But Joe says Marvel's big announcement, more variants. But yeah, it'll be cool to see Blade in the MCU. I think that what they are doing with the Avengers run, with actually bringing Blade back onto the team, could be a nod in that direction. Only time will tell, right? You now have the multiverse thanks to the Spider-Man Homecoming 2 trailer, and so I think that opens the door for all kinds of possibilities of, vampires, monsters and demons and all the other stuff, all the other accoutrement. So Undead Mousy, I think the sky's the limit for what can actually happen here, CB, the low-key continuity is so good and getting better or getting bigger. The undead vampire stories, man. RJ just sent in a nice stack of books. Family Matters. There you go. That's the show. It's the big guy, the big brother, right? And I can't remember his name. It could be Darius Wilson. I honestly don't know. I'm not very good with celebrity names, to be honest with you. No rush. The multiverse concept is here, right? The Far From Home trailer that was released, I think yesterday early, has now made the multiverse a reality for the MCU. And so the doors are just open now, right? These guys can just do anything. You think about all the amazing stories that are out there, all the diverse story arcs that exist, the big events. The sky is the limit for what could happen. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Chris Barrett says they have been talking about having a Blade movie now for years with Wesley Snipes playing Blade. He better see Wesley Snipes. So here's the thing is, they could make a Blade movie because I think Blade was in jail. Wesley was in jail for tax evasion. But he is also, I don't know, what is he in, like his mid 50s now? And so the question is he still a credible Blade? Is he still a credible Blade, or is it time to hand the baton to someone else? The same way, Hugh Jackman, fantastic Wolverine. Should he continue playing Wolverine, or should he hand the baton over to someone else? And I have no opinion. These are just things that you kind of think about, Undead Melcy says FF52 is not up on Instagram yet. He will post it tomorrow. Very nice. Said he thought it would be a 1.8 to a 2, but he actually got a 3, considering he paid $30. Goodness, bro, congrats. Somebody hit me the other day and said, Reggie, do you think I got a good deal on this Fantastic Four 48? Got it at a garage sale, paid $100 for it. I'm looking at the photos and I'm like, this book is kind of beat, but it's FF48. So that automatically makes it, even though it's beat, an attractive book. You're still like, who cares? It's still FF48. I pop open Go Collect, and I'm like, bro, even if your book came back at a 0.5, you still made out like a bandit, right? It does it with FF48, with 52. If you buy it smartly, that book is worth a lot of money, you know? So congratulations, Undead Mousy. And I can't remember the individual that I was talking with about his FF48, but congratulations to you as well, brother. I said it to you in direct message. I'm saying it to you live if you happen to be watching. Marvel Joe in the house saying, what's up, 1G? I actually had a phone conversation with Marvel Joe like 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. Awesome guy. We swapped a couple of stories on the phone. Definitely enjoyed chatting with you, Marvel Joe. Hope all well with you and the wife, my good friend. Scrolling through the comments here. Oh man, T.O., you're a nut. T.O. says, old man Blade, question mark. There you go. Chris Barrett says Wesley Snipes is 57. So T.O., you are correct. It is old man Blade. Boom. Well, technically he can't get old because technically he's an immortal, right? Because does he age? I don't know if he ages. Maybe I should go back and read Blade's first appearance because I still haven't done that. Killer Clem says, saw on Twitter Marvel's announced the 4 Avatar movies and Star Wars 3 movie dates. I don't know if I'm interested in any of that. I don't think I'm interested in any of that stuff. JLS, how you doing, my friend? It's good to see you here. Laid Back Entertainment says, would you consider Marvel Team Up 1 the cheapest solution to own a first appearance of the black suit, or you just go all out? So that's it, man. Now you're speaking to my heart right here. So I think that if you really want your black costume, I feel like in all honesty, I think you have to get all 3. I just being honest with you. I think you have to get all 3. And then you even have to throw in there Peter Parker. What is it, 80 or 89? I can never remember the number. You kind of got to just do them all, man. I am a fan of the black costume, and I have multiple copies of all of those books: ASM 252, Secret Wars #8, and then also Marvel Team Up 141. And the Marvel Team Up 141 I don't think it's an expensive book, so you can kind of get a decent grade of that book for a fair price. But the Secret Wars 8 with him on the cover is just gorgeous. ASM 252 it's a great homage cover. I think you got to get all 3, man. I think you got to get all 3, and I would prioritize. I would get the one that you enjoy the most. I would prioritize that one, and I would get the highest grade that I could afford in that one first, and then I would get to the others. I'm a big fan of going after the harder stuff first and spending, good money on something good, and then doing some of the other stuff a little bit later, But Secret Wars, 8, ASM 252, MTU 141. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. And in fact, I had my love of the black costume is so deep that I went and picked up all of the other books, right? So the Comic Reader, the Comic Journal, all of those, the Marvel Age 12, and all those other books where the black costume appeared in like a frame or something like that. I have all of those books, and in some cases, multiple copies of them, because this is my opinion, if you are a real fan of the character, just get it all. Just get it all and just own it all, So hopefully Laid Back Entertainment, that actually answers your question. As a fan of the black costume and of Spider-Man, I have a really tough time. Like, it's like, which of your children do you like the least? I love all my children. Eric says, what's up, Reggie? Enjoying the show as usual with this 5-year-old. Hello, 5-year-old son or daughter of Eric Compton. It is good to see you. You have something in common. What is that? She said, oh, he says, she is serious about Spider-Man. Her name is Amanda. So Amanda, my friend, it is good to see you. I want to thank you for taking the time to actually watch my show with your dad. He is an awesome guy. Even though he is not the biggest fan of Spider-Man, he is still a good guy because he's letting you watch me, and I am a big fan of Spider-Man. So Amanda, encourage your dad to buy and read more Spider-Man. There you go. Eric, Amanda, I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, and I want to thank you honestly for joining the channel and hanging out with me for just a little bit. Victor just corrected me here. Peter Parker number 90. Thank you, bro. I definitely appreciate that. All those numbers, man, are just jumbled around in my head. Russ C is saying Marvel Team Up 141 is getting up there. Is it? You know, what was this guy Gills on Instagram? I almost bought a couple of 141s from him. This dude had some sweet deal where he basically negotiated some deal where he had like multiple keys and like 10, 12, 20 copies of each book. And I kept seeing his Marvel Team Up 141s pop up, and he had a stack of them. And he'd be like, I'm selling for $30. And I never pulled the trigger. And I think I only have one copy of it. It is graded, and I think it's a 7.5. Someone actually gave it to me free when I purchased. Maybe it might have been 252. I might have purchased 252 and Secret Wars 8 from one person, who then gave me 141 as a gift. I sent it off, got it graded, came back as a 7.5. I would like to have a higher grade of that book. And so I may have to actually pull the trigger and buy the thing. So to the point of the prices getting up there, Russ, I may have to find that out for myself very soon, because I would like to get a better grade of that book. Undead Mousy, thank you for putting your Instagram in there so people can actually check you out. Tony is asking, do you think we will have a Venom crossover with Spider-Man on the big screen? It might be tough, because you might have to do it as a prequel, right? You would almost have to do it as a prequel. Well, I guess it depends on which way it crosses, right? If I guess, doesn't Universal own both Spider-Man and Venom? So technically they could do it, but it might have to be a prequel because Venom is already out there. And then if it comes the Marvel way, they could probably introduce Secret Wars, which is what a lot of people are suspecting that they're going to do, is introduce Secret Wars into the MCU, which could happen. You could have him find the black costume as part of Secret Wars, and then you could have your crossover event with Venom a little ways down the road. So yeah, I think it's possible to do. You can either go Universal or you can go MCU. I think there's a pathway, at least a pathway, if not a lot more pathways forward for either direction. Do I think that we're going to see it? No. And I say that because if the Venom movies continue to do well, and I think that they did do well, I don't see Universal licensing out their character and ruining, if you will, what they are trying to do with that character. So I don't know if I would see that happening. If one of the movies fails, then I think anything is possible at that point. So currently have Secret Wars 8 at CGC, hoping to keep the highest grade and sell the others to buy something else. Good luck with that, Undead Mousy. Marvel Studios is the studio of ex-convicts. Ex-convicts, felons, alcoholics, older actors. Yeah. But at Marvel Studios, they can find new life. Look at Robert Downey Jr., man. My wife looked at me and she said, is he still out there? And I'm like, babe, this dude's been doing movies for Marvel for like 10 years. He's killing the game. Then I was like, well, he could still be having some trouble. Who knows? RJ says he owns 4 issues of Secret Wars 8 direct and 3 newsstand, all 9.8 or 9.4 or better. He hopes. Fingers crossed for you, my friend. Eric Compton, bro, honestly, man. So I was talking to someone about this the other day, and I said to some people, there was a reason why I don't use certain language on my channel. And the reason for it is the reason that Eric just demonstrated right there. Dude is sitting with his daughter, Amanda, and they are enjoying the channel, and Eric doesn't have to worry about what I'm going to say. You know what I'm saying? I would hate 10 years from now my children to actually watch my videos, because hopefully they're still up, and watch those videos and basically be like, my dad had a potty mouth. I don't want to be that guy. So Eric, as much as I may have made her day, you, brother, the two of you just made my day. So thank you for that. I appreciate you guys being part of this journey that we are on. So be based on the Beyonder, bro. Bring on the Beyonder. I am ready. I am ready for the Beyonder. I'm telling you guys. So I have a video out there that I made probably maybe a year ago, and it was how to stay ahead of the MCU curve, right? And my thought even a year ago was that they are going to go cosmic. Right. My thought was that MCU is going to go cosmic, and then the MCU is then going to come back to Earth and is going to go subterranean. Right. That was my thought. So what I've done is I've gone out there and I've picked up all these first appearances of cosmic characters. So your Eternity, your Death, your Cosmic Gardener, your Beyonder, your what is that guy's name? The Betweener, all of those cosmic characters. I've gone out and gotten those. I've picked up, the Submariner first appearances, because it's going to go out and then it's going to come back. So I've gone out and picked up a lot of those. And here's the thing. If it works out, cool. If it doesn't work out, I enjoy reading some awesome stories and checking out some amazing art, And so that's one of the things is that's why, like, I'm trying to anticipate where things are going, and I'm trying to be there before they start to happen. One, because I'm interested in those things. And then two, because I'm interested, I don't want to have to pay more for something than I should. And so I'm trying to look, where are they going? Okay, well, let me get there. Let me do what I'm going to do. And then if they go there, cool. If they don't, cool. I still enjoyed it. So Corey says in the multiverse, you could have Garfield, and yeah, you could definitely have that. So RJ, bro, there are so many ways that they could actually introduce mutants. Hold on, Tio says, anyone hoping in game when Captain Marvel says you gotta be to his past self, it would be like language. Fully Feige says that they won't go fully cosmic until they expand into the mystic side, which could happen with part 2 of Doctor Strange, right? So you could get some of that mystical stuff happening in part 2. You could get an introduction of Doctor Doom, who does some mysticism there. You had that the guy, I can't remember his name, in Iron Man. I'm sorry, in Doctor Strange 1, where he was going out killing anyone that was doing magic. You could definitely set a lot of that stuff up. I think the other thing is that when you have the Eternals that are coming, where I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but Angelina Jolie is involved. You could introduce mutants right there with the Eternals movie, right? Because that is all pre-stuff back in the day, billions of years ago. You can set up mutants right there. There's a guy that I watch by the name of Comics Explain. And I like to say he was a buddy, but he has no clue who I am. But I watch this dude's videos, and he is like an encyclopedia when it comes to comic book knowledge. And then he's able to basically say, I think that this could happen. And then he pulls from his memory all these different ideas and stories. And he basically says, here's how we could get there. And part of his thinking now is that they could introduce Secret Wars. They can introduce Doctor Doom. They can introduce mutants in 1,000 different ways. And this guy has some amazing videos out there. So if you guys are not following this dude, I'm telling you to check it out. Brian Perrin is saying he heard that Doctor Strange 2 will have Mephisto. It's possible. Here's the thing. This is the thing. They have just introduced the multiverse, right? And we know that because it's actually in the movie. To some degree or another, everything that we know could or could not be true, right? The wonderful thing about this stuff is that you can speculate until the cows come home, and you could never be right, because you just don't know, right? And that's what makes, to some degree or another, like speculative buying a little dangerous, because you just don't know which direction that they could go in. If you think about it, when you first saw the Far From Home trailer, the first cut that they did, You had no clue that the multi universe existed. You had no clue that the Iron Spider costume was in there. You had no clue that Mephisto was actually from another universe, and that potentially Hydro Man. I'm guessing Hydro Man is from that other universe. He's basically a monster, I guess. The point is that even if you see it, you don't know the full picture, and it's just they can go in 1,000 different ways with any of this stuff, you know. And I think that's what makes it dangerous, and I think that's also just what makes it fun, right? For us as hobbyists, we don't know. We don't know. And I think that's what really makes it fun. Pretty accurate with the plot point, but not what books go along with it. There you go. There you go. Mysterio is the wild card if he's telling the truth or if he's the master of schemes. Very, very true. Um, once the cows come home, does that mean we can no longer? No, I think you can still speculate. Because then at that point you could say, well, they should have done this, they could have done that. I know that they said this here actually in the movie, but that doesn't mean anything for the future. I mean, that's the thing about it, is that there is no end to this stuff. There is no end to it. It is all fun and games. It is all fun and games. Again, as long as nobody's getting hurt, it is all fun to just pontificate and to guess and to just enjoy this hobby. You know, that's what this stuff is about. Thank goodness I don't own any cows. Wait, so wait a minute. So you owned a cow? Because if you say that you don't own cows anymore, then that says that you actually owned a cow. And I definitely am going to need you, Chris, from We Love Comics, to actually now do a video talking about the cows that you once owned as a child. I must see this video. I must see the photos of you at 4-H showing cows. If you guys don't know, Chris from We Love Comics is my buddy. Oh, I misread. Chris, that's the problem with live chats, brother. That's just it is all in the moment. It is all in the moment. You just roll with the punches, you know. That Chris is my buddy. For those that don't know, I absolutely love this guy. I definitely dig him. So let me scroll through here and see if there's any other comments that you guys are making. Mysterio is a pathological liar too. He is the master of schemes. I thought that was Loki, but he's dead now, so I guess they need a new one. Scrolling through, he is a schemer. Chris from We Love Comics is a huge Liefeld fan. Oh, because he likes well-drawn feet. That's why. Chris, you are hilarious, bro. Chris doesn't want to hang out with me. He doesn't want to hang out. He doesn't want to do a live stream with Reggie. That's not his thing. Santiago Comics, how you doing, my friend? It is good to see you. I agree and hope there are, says Brian Parent. There are also trailers, also understand how Mysterio is. So with that said, I don't want to buy into the whole thing right now. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, nor should you, because I mean, these trailers are designed to pique your interest, pique your curiosity, to get you interested, to get you talking, right? Here's a question for you guys. Here's one of the questions I would ask is, do you like, how much value do you guys put on like YouTubers and YouTuber videos, whether they be like the weekly, here's what's hot coming out. Here are the new releases by like Jim's Comics. He does a really good one. Comics with Bueller does a really good one as well. I'm curious, like, what impact you guys think those type of videos, that type of content actually has on the overall market, like in terms of driving awareness, driving people to local comic shops. I'm just curious about that. And part of the reason why I'm curious is because I guess there's something called Title 13 or something that was just passed in Europe recently, where any copyrighted or copywritten material cannot actually, I guess, be used in videos to make money off of. And so there's this thought that that law could make its way to the US, and that anytime you're showing copywritten material in your video, it would basically be demonetized or not be shown or something like that. So I'm just curious whether, like, whether Marvel would ever put its foot down and say, you cannot show comics in your video because those comics are copywritten and they're my property, so you cannot profit from them. I don't know if it would ever happen. I don't know if it would ever happen, but that's kind of what popped into my mind when you guys started making a couple of those comments. So Russ C is making a couple of comments here. I am not going to comment. Uh-oh. Yeah, well, we love comics says it depends on the YouTuber. Well said, my friend. Well said. Somebody actually reached out to me the other day and they basically said that they were like Bueller, Tom, and Reggie should do a panel discussion somewhere. That was what somebody suggested to me. We did that one live stream. I think it was a lot of fun. It was a really fun live stream. I talked to Tom recently, and he kind of made a comment about me coming back on the show at some point. I think this is just one of those really cool things. That's a real testament to the fact that people are making these type of suggestions. That there are so many great content creators that are out there, and I think that that's again one of those great things about YouTube is that it gives us an ability to reach out and have these conversations with you guys, and folks seem to really enjoy it. So I think it's really cool. Walt S, how you doing? It's good to see you, my friend. Chris is saying that his track record for speculation and projecting what will happen has been pretty spot on. Don't know that I could disagree with you, my brother. You've actually been dropping some real pearls as of late. You talked a little bit about earlier. I think it was earlier today. I can't remember which book was it. It was your advice was not to rush out with emotion and go buy that book immediately, but to take some time and do your own research and then to make a decision based upon your research whether you wanted to buy that book. And I think that that's the responsible way to do it. You know, because you've clearly done your research. You've clearly arrived at the conclusion that what you're buying makes sense for your collection. But I think it's also that thing of everyone needs to pump their brakes, take their time, and make their own informed decisions. And so, I think that it's just good, solid advice. Just good, solid advice that I honestly cannot argue with. Somebody mentioned the Gibbon, but I lost it. Oh, the Gibbon ASM first appearance has gone up because of this channel. Seriously? Don't. Seriously? I'm going to have to look that up now. I'm gonna have to look that up. Somebody sent me a message yesterday and was like, so is the Gibbon really your favorite character? The Gibbon is fun to talk about, but the Gibbon is not my favorite character. But I definitely dig the Gibbon. So scrolling through some of the statements here. Somebody is shouting out, we need a We Love Comics box from Chris is actually dropping some stuff over there. He's got a couple of boxes set up on his channel that he's sending out, like mystery boxes and stuff like that. A couple of people I know have picked those up and they've actually absolutely love what they've been able to pick up. So definitely head over to Chris's channel and check it out because he's offering some good stuff over there. By you, Bill, like the basic comic content channels, but it's not the speculation channels. I definitely get that. And again, I think that this is one of those things, whether you're talking about which books to buy, which channel to watch, it is all personal preference. And it's like, if you're watching this channel, I appreciate it. Hopefully you're digging what I'm putting out, which is, I guess, why you guys watch. So I definitely appreciate that. So Lee Atkins is talking here. He says video game reviewers have been having tons of battles about that. That's actually one of the very things that I've thought about as well, is that basically I don't know how much, like when you think about a comic book YouTuber, we are actually adding content and not just like showing the book and reading the book. For example, we are having discussions and dialogues about the comic, around the comic. The video itself is not the comic, and some people don't even actually show any comics in a video. But if you look at a video game reviewer, basically what they show, I do believe, is actually a screen that is comprised of them playing the game. And I think sometimes they do an overlay of their face or something like that, definitely an overlay of their voice, but the video itself is the game, which is copywritten by the programmer of that game. And so it's going to be interesting to see. And I kind of pointed out to somebody that this is happening in Europe. That does not mean it's going to come to the US. But if it comes to the US, I don't know how concerned I am, because there are a lot of comic book YouTubers out there that are not centering their content on the book per se, i.e. the reading of the book. Even sometimes the showing of the book is something that you don't really see unless it's like in a background or something like that. So I don't know. Caleb Comic Smurf is saying YouTube is so much fun. Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. Um, Killer Clem, what is your next comic run to the LTS? I'm sorry, LCS. And do you collect Marvel cards? I do not collect Marvel cards. And my next run, probably I went to a shop earlier today. I was actually doing a hunting video and it fell apart. And maybe I'll talk about it at some point, but it kind of fell apart. But I'll probably hit another shop tomorrow. I don't think that it's going to be one of my comic shops where I have a pull list. I'll probably just be going hunting at a shop maybe that I've never been before and see what I can come up. Scrolling through. All right, so I hear my wife in the outer rooms. I'm probably going to wrap this up so I can go out here and talk to her and deal with my children who are also making a lot of noise out there. RJ Taylor says he's working on a full X-Men run up to 300. Very nice, very nice. He says con this year a couple of months ago. Absolutely love 94. It is the start of the Chris Claremont run, a 17-year run on Uncanny X-Men. If you guys don't know, Chris is actually on Instagram now. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I would think I was like early on. I think I was like sub 100 to follow him about a month ago. So he is up on Instagram now. So if you guys head over, you may want to check him out. And to answer the last question that someone asked about cards, I do not collect cards. I actually have one card back there that someone sent me as an part of an AOK that is sitting back on the shelf back there, but I actually don't own any cards. Tina, thank you very much for the kind words. Same to Rush. I definitely appreciate that. 90 MF Comics says, great improv show, brother. Thank you guys for providing me with the stimuli to react to. If the 70 or 80 of you weren't here, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. Because again, this was a live stream with no agenda. So I definitely enjoy you guys hanging out. But with that, I am going to wrap this thing up. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me for a little bit. I have a video dropping today at 3:30. I think it's a good video. I encourage you guys to check it out. And as always, if you guys need to reach out to me, feel free to do so at Regie Collects on Instagram, reggiecollects@gmail.com. And if you are in the room now, or if you are watching this on replay, I want to thank you for the thumbs up on this video. And I also want to encourage you to subscribe so that you can stay abreast of all the content that I release on a weekly basis. Take care.